Hey, turkeys, this is Dan, Margie, we're the Gen-Xers. Thanks for joining us for episode 12 of the big podcast. Did you think we'd ever make it this far?
Yes,
You know what they say about YouTube, if you make it here, you can make it anywhere.
that's right.
So, suck on that, naysayers. Suck on some rotten eggs, naysayers. Did we have any naysayers?
Well,
And if we do, have we really proven them wrong yet?
guys, we have been agonizing over this opening for the past 3 minutes. And the final consensus was we weren't going to say anything about naysayers.
Now it's all I want to talk about all of a sudden. Or naysayers.
That's right. So, hi, guys. How are ya?
Unless you're a naysayer,
If
you
you're a
better look into your
naysayer,
hearts.
you know what? If you're a naysayer, I'm going to welcome you in. Come on in. Have a seat. By the end of this show,
You'll be a yaysayer.
You'll be a yaysayer. You'll be saying nay no more.
Hey, it's been a heck of a week, Mama.
It has been.
Look, Robert Redford passed. Few Gen X icons have passed, or just icons. He's not really a Gen X icon, but Robert Redford's passed. You know, historic actor.
Absolutely an icon.
What's one of your favorite Robert Redford roles? You have
Oh
any?
my gosh. I have one that's actually of our generation, which kind of goes with our show's theme, right? Called Sneakers.
Sure.
And if you remember, Sneakers is a show that was he starred in the 80s that we watched several times. Very good show. It's got Sidney Poitier in it. It's got River Phoenix. It's got Mary McDonald.
Dan Aykroyd, I think.
Dan Aykroyd. Sir Ben Kingsley is in it. Like, everybody is in this movie, and it's a good movie, well written, prescient in today's times, unfortunately. But funny. It's funny too.
We watched that when we first got married. You had me watch it. You know how it is. You want everybody to watch your favorite movies. And I liked it a lot, I remember, but I can't remember too much about it. Hackers. It's got some computer hackers in it. I know that.
We should totally watch it and review it for the channel for you guys.
We will, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should. It's a good one to revisit.
One of my favorites is The Natural.
Of
Big
course.
fan of that one. And the book, I like that too. Huge fan of The Twilight Zone. One of my top 2 favorite shows ever. And he's in a great episode of that where he plays Death, of all things. One of his first roles.
I vaguely remember you talking about that when we were. Dan's a huge Twilight Zone fan. He's made me one over the years. I mean, I liked it, but I hadn't really sat down and watched it at length until Dan discovered the Twilight Zone marathons that would happen on Memorial Day or something.
Yeah.
On some channel, and we would watch those, and a lot of them are fantastic and amazing. And we had gotten into a discussion of how many actors had been in Twilight Zone episodes, and I think I remember you mentioning this long ago.
Yeah. And they're great. Twilight Zone, so well written. Rod Serling, he was just on a tear there for a while. Script-wise. Flo from Alice also passed. I loved Alice growing up. I don't even know why as a little kid I would like that show, but I just like TV, I think. Great theme song. One of the iconic theme songs.
Do, 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 do. Oh, yeah. Don't listen to me sing, by the way. Polly Holiday was Flo's name. She was Alice's friend at the restaurant and co-worker.
Kiss my grits.
And she famously said, "Kiss my grits."
Kiss them old grits.
That's right.
And she was in a lot of stuff after that, right? Well, she like had a pretty good career as a character actor.
Yeah. Yeah, she was great. Spicy character. Flo, we liked her.
This is the age we're at. Has anybody else died this week? Any more announcements?
Well, I don't know, but I know that free speech has died this week, Dan.
Look, man, unfortunately had to bring this up the last 2 shows. First, corporations' attack on free speech. Then the unfortunate Charlie Kirk thing, which we're going to have to unfortunately talk about again here in a second. It just seems like there's attacks on free speech coming from everywhere. And now, Jimmy Kimmel's show has been put on hiatus indefinitely. We're not going to make this political, nor are we going to make it about whether or not you think Jimmy Kimmel is funny. None of that matters. What matters is he's been punished for something he said, and the government has stuck their pesky noses in it, and that's a legit free speech concern. If the FCC commissioner is even saying anything, or the president of the United States or other politicians are putting on pressure, that is a violation of our freedom of speech, if you ask me. I know people might say there's some gray area, but I don't want any gray area.
I certainly don't want any gray area. Yeah, freedom of speech is the basis by which our country stands, pretty much. And yeah, when this happened, I thought about a lot of things. Still thinking about a lot of things. Still in shock over just the tightening clamps every single day.
And from many directions.
From many directions. Two things. Number one, I think of George Carlin talking about way back in the day how much we are owned by corporations. This country and everyone in it is owned by corporations. We're on their land. We're eating and drinking their things. And it could not be more apparent in this corporate push to silence Jimmy Kimmel or anybody who has the right to say what they want. Should there be consequences? Sure. But not, according to whatever but not from the U.S. government. Maybe from your company, sure, but not from pressure from the U.S. government.
He didn't even say anything bad. This was like a political thing that was even kind of minor. People have said much worse. I don't know. Again, it's not political. Both sides have been, if you want to corporation stuff aside, we've been giving up our own freedom of speech for many years now. Again, I hate dividing us up into sides because I think that's a false dichotomy that just keeps people buying stuff and tuning in and keeps us all dehumanizing each other. But if we're going to have to do sides, the left does it, the right is now doing it pretty extensively. We've just become so accustomed to no one hurting our feelings. Let's not say anything that's going to offend anybody. It's in our workplace, it's in our schools, and we raised people, and it's caught on to us. We cannot handle hearing people disagree with us in a regular civil ways anymore and just being like, oh, they disagree, huh? They're still an okay person. So what if they disagree on that subject?
Or I can go on with my life and it still hasn't changed because this person disagrees with me, unless it's now a law that I cannot disagree with that person. Yeah. Then we're talking about some real serious stuff. And let me tell you something. The division of this country and the divisions that are happening in the world are intentional. They fuel things like this. So unless we can come together and decide what kind of a world we want to live in, is it this? I don't think so. We're gonna be in big trouble if we don't. It's going to come down to regular people. The corporations aren't going to do it. The government's not going to do it. And the media is not going to try to bring us together because all three of those people know where their bread is buttered. All three of them get votes and make money off of our division and anger. Be tougher. That's what I would say. That's a good start. We are so sensitive that our only reaction to people saying stuff that we disagree with, even highly emotionally, is violence. And a huge number of young people now think that violence is an acceptable form of a reaction to speech. That's kind of scary. And even extreme violence. Or to cancel them or fire them or just shut them up. The reason we have freedom of speech is to protect those people, not to protect the stuff we want to hear. It's to protect the stuff we don't want to hear. It's just got to be part of the fabric of our lives, or we're living in a thought police state.
Yeah.
A very much a thought police state. Something that struck me too, and this goes back to what you were talking about earlier about being careful, or what we were having a discussion on about being careful what you consume, what you watch, what you listen to, what you're, you know, putting into your body and brain, basically. One of the reasons that I got off of social media is because I read an article that really struck me, and I can't remember the article, but somebody was talking about how forums like Facebook or TikTok or, you know, whatever's out there regarding social media, he was like, we are the gladiators. We are the entertainment. And corporations have somehow made us the entertainment for one another. To, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions, to distract. We are being lulled into just complacency, and it's because we are the gladiators in this ring, and we are taught to hate all the other gladiators in there and be fighting them, when the gladiators are not the problem. It's the ring itself. It's the Colosseum itself is the problem. And that's why I got out of social media, because I was like, I'm not going to be entertainment for somebody. And I'm definitely not going to be distracting over here while corporations are over here doing some nefarious stuff.
It's 1984, yeah, with the Orwellian speak that we've all supposed to do being watched everywhere, and that's only getting worse in like parts of Europe and stuff, like hyper surveillance.
Yeah. And surveillance of your personal data.
Yeah.
On as you log in, as you text, as you call, everything we do on technology, which is everything. Every purchase you make, everything you look up online before that purchase to decide what to purchase. These are pieced together into absolute files on you.
And again, none of this is left wing or right wing. We don't care about that stuff. We like everybody. These are fundamental rights that we should all I think we probably all do agree on. And I know it's fun to own the other side, no matter who you are. But sometimes you just gotta join together with the other side and say, we know who the real enemy is, and they're sitting up there on a pile of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness, Margie. Okay, that's our soapbox.
Yeah. I wore my serious earrings for that one, Dan.
I noticed that. Every time I look at them, I get depressed.
Yeah. They're not, I mean, I couldn't find any really serious ones, but they're like squares, which I thought was the least joyous of my earrings.
Yeah.
So I was way disturbed about this.
Anybody out there watching who's younger, and I know by the demographics some of you are, it was a whole different world before the internet, especially social media. Everybody got along so much better. I don't know.
Were there issues? Sure. But not issues like
I'd say they've
these.
gotten worse. I'd say social issues have gotten worse.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because now we can all just yell at each other in our faces all the time and get mad at each other.
Well, and now we have a megaphone with which to do it and a coliseum with which to throw down.
Let us be your entertainment. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to hit the bell. And here's why. We cover a wide variety of topics. One week we might be counting down the most underrated comedies of the 80s. The next week we might be looking at Black Triangle UFO abductions. And the next week we might be looking at, something to do with physics or whatever. You just never know, and YouTube's algorithm doesn't always know what to do with us. Gen-Xers is just a title. We do cover that stuff, but we talk about whatever we find interesting that week. So hit the bell. Make sure you get the notifications. Yeah. And you can also become a member. We've only got one level. You get some free stuff. It's the exact same thing we do YouTube membership as we do on Patreon. I don't talk about it a lot. We'll make an own video on it one of these days, but it's there if you're interested.
Yeah.
All right. Marge, we need some good news. And I saw you diligently working this week.
Yeah.
On something called Bliss Foods, and that sounded pretty uplifting to me. You want to roll that footage?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and look at some Bliss Point foods then.
Roll that beautiful bean footage, John.
Yeah. Chances are, if you live in the industrialized world, you are addicted to a Bliss Point food. My current addiction, those damned Chobani yogurts. They have just about everything you could possibly want to stir in there, and they melt in the mouth. I did not even know I was a fan of blueberry buckle. What is blueberry buckle? Until I tasted Chobani's version of it. So what are Bliss Point foods, and are they as nefarious as they sound? Yes, they are. Until a market researcher and psychophysicist, which is a psychologist who studies how we respond to sensation and stimuli, named Howard Moskowitz, began his painstaking work with several food industry giants to discover what will make us buy more food, the world had few Bliss Point foods to offer the everyday public. They were, in fact, developed by the food industry. Bliss Point foods are labeled hyper-palatable, and they are designed to override your brain's natural function of telling your body it's full by releasing feel-good hormones that keep that feel-good feeling going. Howard Moskowitz, using his marketing and psychophysicology background, has worked steadily for such food giants as Campbell's, General Foods, Kraft, and PepsiCo since the 1980s. And he was famously lauded for his painstaking work on chunky Prego spaghetti sauce, which included at least 45 different combinations before he hit upon the final recipe. Bliss Point was his term for the perfect combination of salt, sugar, and fat that optimized customer satisfaction and made people want to eat and buy more food. The food industry loved it and began incorporating marketing techniques like the ones Moskowitz used in increasing efforts to find the bliss point for their customers, considering things such as chewing texture and visual appeal also when engineering food to be more desirable on the market.
This new formula should be even more irresistible. The blend of savory and sweet is perfectly balanced.
So as if making food, which is necessary for survival, now absolutely physically addictive, food companies have also removed those pesky and expensive, nutrient-dense ingredients in our foods and replaced them with cheaper, much more convenient fillers, such as dehydrated processed potatoes and a variety of starches. And when these remove the things that actually make foods good and filling, like nutrients, companies overcompensate with bright artificial colors and flavors that never occur in nature. The worst offenders in the United States include processed meats, sodas, white bread, French fries. That's a whole category. None are excluded in this category, all French fries. Fast food burgers, donuts, processed cheese, potato chips, processed snacks, and alcohol is number 10 on this list. And even alcohol, which offers a reward for its consumption right away, not so much later, is also juiced up to make it even easier to consume with those bright colors and fun flavors. And yes, I know, I myself am addicted to at least 11 things on this list of 10 items, some of which include entire genres of food, like such as processed snacks. Like snacks are what I have for second breakfast, afternoon num-nums, and midnight nibbling. So now what do? And I don't use the term addiction humorously or ironically when I'm talking about Bliss Point foods here. Many of us are addicted to these foods, and that is no mistake. Companies know and have known for years that foods like these, the ultra-processed and engineered foods that they manufacture, that have now become the norm and the only available option in some areas, are detrimental to our health and can lead to absolute syndromes, not minor illnesses, conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, and a host of digestive issues. Other things that can and generally do occur if you have built a lifetime of eating these foods, include nutritional deficiencies or inabilities to properly absorb the nutrients that you're taking in, deterioration of brain function, disrupted appetite signals, which can lead to a host of issues, and an increased need for your fix. So an increased need for the sugar, the salts, and the fats that are included in those foods. So as the term suggests, Bliss Point foods are made to be addictive. They are made to be consumed in large amounts, so you will purchase more. And this is especially insidious in foods specifically made for kids. It conditions them like it conditioned me and a host of other Gen-Xer kids for a lifetime of chasing that unattainable sugar rainbow, like the Skittles rainbow or the Lucky Charms rainbow, or all the colors of M&M or Jell-O cups. Yeah, that wasn't as positive as you thought it was, Dan. I'm so sorry.
Well, and you said Bliss Point. I thought something good. I didn't realize we were being
Yeah, no.
manipulated into addiction.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the episode that we had on plastic.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if 10% of our brain is already microplastics and another 15 to 20% is preservatives and xanthan gum and whatever they put in these foods. And luckily, I think you put together a visual aid.
Yes, I have.
Here's a scientific, legit visual aid of what our brains look like now. And if not now, soon.
Soon, very soon, if we don't get a hold of this. But before we
Full
do,
of
Dan.
plastic and snack cakes.
That's right. There you go. My brain looks delicious, by the way. And talking of Bliss Point foods, let's talk a little bit about our Bliss Point foods then and now. Because I have a ton.
Then, every food was a Bliss Point food for me. When I was a kid, I've talked about this before, I was food motivated. I went to the Husky section. I won my candy bar every week in Bible quizzes at Sunday school because I wanted that candy bar.
Well, okay then, but do you think you were food motivated because you were addicted?
Yes.
Okay then.
For one, well, I was a latchkey kid like we both were. And so my mom, who is a good cook, worked evenings. So I'd often have to come home and cook my own macaroni and cheese, microwave pizzas, frozen lasagnas, all of which highly ultra processed, which could explain why I had a lot of stomach aches at that time as a kid, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was not eating healthy. You know, I'd come home and make that stuff. And yeah, I know that it did. Here, okay, I put a poll about, I put 3 cereals. Golden Grahams, Waffle Crisp, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and told people to pick the one that could stay. The other 2 had to go. Waffle Crisp came in at like 13%. Golden Grahams 44%, tied with Cinnamon Toast Crunch at 44%. One time when I was a child, my grandma bought a box of Golden Grahams. My parents lived with my grandma. We all lived together. And we hardly ever got good cereal. We got you remember those big old bags of generic cereal? It'd be like Honey Puffs or something, Sugar Puffs?
Yes.
Not the greatest. That's what we usually got, our Cheerios or cornflakes, or old people cereal, because we were pretty poor growing up. But every once in a while, my grandma would get a treat, and she got these Golden Grahams, man, we were going to have them next day. I got my fat little behind up in the middle of the night, snuck in there. I was just going to get a little bowl of Golden Grahams burger. Next thing I know, I'd ate 3/4. There was probably not a full bowl of Golden Grahams left in that box by morning time. Oh, my grandma was mad, and she was a church-going woman, but she was cussing and kicking things and whatnot. I got blamed for it. I don't know why. There's no proof it was me.
Well, it was Golden Graham's fault, really, for making such a delicious cereal.
Yeah.
And for reaching that bliss point.
Sure.
But I totally get it. I had a lot of Bliss Point foods back then because guess what? Just like I said in the essay that we did, food companies have done this insidiously, targeting children on purpose to prep them for a lifetime of being reliant on these foods. Back in the day, I loved those any kind of grainy, sugary candy, like the candy straws, lick'em sticks, where you take the little stick and you dip it in the various powders.
Sure.
I can't stand that today. I don't know why I loved that as a kid, but
Pure sugar.
it's pure sugar.
I'm surprised you don't love it, Dave, because you love sugar.
I love sugar. It's my Achilles heel for sure, my Achilles. But those fake buttery flavored stuff, they came pretty heavy with the buttery flavoring in the 80s because I think it was something that they just had invented. So when they put buttery flavor on stuff, it was more butter than occurs in nature. Like it's way buttery, but I loved it for whatever reason. Cannot to this day eat Hungry Jack biscuits
Because you ate so many one time?
because I ate so many one time. I can do buttery theater popcorn. That's fine. I can slather that sucker.
I feel the same way about peach schnapps.
Yeah. Well, you talked about cereals. Cookie Crisp.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
Oh, Pizza Hut used to be so good. They seemed like they were better back in the day. And I remember when I'd go to Pizza Hut, I'd be so worried that maybe I'd die before I'd ever get a chance to go back to Pizza Hut. I'd lay awake at night.
There's a reason that Pizza Hut shows up as an icon of the 80s because they had delicious pizza.
It was better. I don't know what changed.
It was
who knows
better,
what changed?
and I do know what changed. And I know it was like I know they used some of that buttery flavoring. They had a lot of fatty, oily, greasy stuff that was so good. They went overboard on all their toppings. Like it was just the smells when you walked in. It was the place to go back in the day. And I have beef with Catherine Bike. Those were, I think it's Bike. Catherine Bike. I used to have to sell Catherine Bike chocolate bars for every fundraiser we had in school. And I would inevitably be owing the school like $12.50 or something, some ungodly number that I didn't have because I didn't have a job.
Same here. And that's why when our kids were little, I didn't make them sell stuff. I'm like, we don't need our kids to be taught to be little salesmen here.
Yeah.
Like, we're paying taxes for something. You don't need to go around. They would give our kids all kinds of stuff. Like, it'd be big old catalogs of Christmas stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
It was way beyond those candy bars, but I'd do the same thing. I'd eat about 4 or 5 of those things after school, and then I'd have to go tell my dad. Again, we didn't have a lot of money. Hey, Dad, I need a couple dollars of candy bars, man.
I would do hella chores for like a couple of days. Like, my parents knew something was up.
My dad loved candy,
like,
so he was
"You need
pretty
your-"
he was pretty forgiving on that one because he would hide candy. My mom didn't want him eating too awful much candy. He was like pre-diabetic there for a while, but he would hide candy bar stuff all over the place, man.
Yeah, I get that. So were those your Bliss Point foods then?
As
like
a
the
kid,
cereals?
almost any food that was processed I loved. Today there's not a lot. Only because I've had to break a lot of those habits with the RA, like processed sugar, which I still overdo sometimes. I feel like that will show up as RA flare up almost the next day. All processed foods do, but to an extent. But give me a bag of those Lay's Funyun potato chips, not the rings, but the chips. I can't stop eating them. I know what they're going to do to my body. Doesn't matter. Salt is where I'm at these days.
You can feel what it's doing to your body in real time, but you can't stop at all.
When they say you can't eat just one, it's a warning.
Yeah. I was thinking the other night when I went to bed and I was like, oh my God, I'm so hot. And I was like throwing off the covers and I'm constantly so hot. And I was like, well, maybe it's because you eat so much sugar that your body burns it like a furnace, Margaret. Like, maybe you shouldn't do that. But yeah, I have still lots of Bliss Point foods. I snack.
Let me know next time you wake up in the middle of the night hopped up on sugar.
I snack so bad. Right now, today, Cheetos. That's a really big one for a lot of people because they've spent so much time looking for the Bliss Point and Cheetos. Perfect. Certain cereals.
A lot of color.
Lot of color. Certain cereals, and I'm looking at you, Honey Bunches of Oats, especially the maple. What?
That's pretty good.
The maple Honey Bunches of Oats. If you can put that down, hats off to you, because I can't. Anything that kind of incorporates salty and sweet and chocolate. Like, I love chocolate bars, but anything like the Reese's Take 5 is one of them. And those damned Chobani yogurts. I can't even resist them.
Yeah. We got a whole shelf in the fridge for Chobani yogurts.
Thinking about one right now.
All right, we got one more thing for you tonight. Entertainment Weekly last month, and since we're always on the top of things, we're just now getting to it, put out a list of best albums of the 90s year by year. We disagreed with most of them. We thought we'd give our reaction, name some of our best albums, and ask you all to name yours too. Join in the chat. We'll all discuss these, talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Best albums of the 90s according to Entertainment Weekly. Margie, not too long ago, I told our viewers that if we got to 3,000 subscribers, I'd take off my hat and show them what my hair looks like after it's been growing out. I'm so confident that we're going to have 3,000 subscribers soon.
By the end of today.
Go ahead and do it. Look at this.
Look at that. Yeah, you waited years for this.
It's going wild, man. Like, there's so much stuff in it right now just to keep it under control. I've always wanted long, straight hair, like rock stars or whatever. It doesn't grow like that. It grows straight up like Don King. Not even beautiful curls or a cool afro, really. It's just... We're going to see what happens in my old age.
You know what we should do sometime is, and I know you could do this because you're a great editor, you need to like switch our hairstyles because I've always wanted curly, dark hair like yours.
I don't mind the curly, really, but I don't know. I don't mind it at all. I like my hair.
Straight as a line. You've got it right here. All we got to do is do the old switcheroo. Surely they can do that nowadays with all the medical advancements we have.
I'm not even sure that's something I want anymore. I always wanted it because the grunge folks and the emo folks and the brooders of the 90s had that long, straight hair going down their face, and that's what I wanted to be.
Well, you don't...
A big brooder.
Oh, well, you don't have to have straight hair to do that. You can do that with any hair. You can just, when you grow it long enough, just kind of do this and shake it down in your face.
That'd be ridiculous, 50-year-old man walking around like that. Some of them out there. Anyway, that brings us to our topic. A month ago or so, Entertainment Weekly published this list of the best albums of the 90s year by year. Mm-hmm. And because we're always on the top of the pulse of entertainment, just like Entertainment Weekly,
right?
We're on the cusp, cutting edge. We're reacting to this a month late. Right. Anyway, Margaret, what are your thoughts on Entertainment Weekly? Do you think they're the harbinger of good taste? Are they the magazine of record? Would you call them?
Like
the paper of record?
Okay, okay. Yeah, like a scientific journal of sorts
like
for the entertainment
like
industry.
Like the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal.
I would say their coverage of The View is exceptional.
Look, I don't know what it is about the Entertainment Weekly website, but there's an article about The View every day. And also, I don't know why I keep looking at the Entertainment Weekly website, Margaret. It's because back in the day, we used to get the magazine.
Yeah.
For free, mind you.
Yeah, for years.
Tell that story. How'd that happen?
I don't know. And it was a loophole that has since been closed. But for years, a couple of magazines, so like People Magazine, Entertainment Weekly, and there was another one, and I can't remember, some sort of home magazine, had gotten my name because I had subscribed to another magazine.
You're on so many mailing lists. If we go to a fair and you can put your name and email, a phone number, a piece of paper, and put it in a big old box to win something, which really means you're getting put on a mailing list.
Yeah, no more. I don't do that anymore. I've learned my lesson after 30 years of doing it and going, don't. But no, so I was apparently had subscribed to some magazine. I think it was Time or Newsweek or something back in the day. And so for years, like People, Entertainment, and this other home magazine would send me please subscribe. And then one day I started getting Entertainment Weeklies. And they were like, please subscribe. We're going to give you this one magazine to convince you. Because we're so certain when you see it, you're going to sign up. You're going to sign up right away. And I looked at it, and it was decent. And thought about signing up, because that's what I did back in the day. But they just kept sending them.
We moved to different states.
Yeah.
Never paid a dime. We got so many Entertainment Weeklies, and then they cut us off. I couldn't break my fix. So.
I think we finally shook them because we moved a lot whenever we were young and building our careers, and I think we finally shook them. I think that probably somebody at one of our previous addresses is still getting Entertainment Weeklies to this day.
It could be.
Yeah, I think so. You're welcome. I don't know what I did, but you're welcome. They probably know all about The View.
Probably. Somehow, yeah, they took time away from their top-notch frontline View coverage to do this article. Here we go. 10 best albums of the 1990s, our top picks for every year of the decade. From Lauryn Hill to Sinead to Nirvana, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. We're going to cite EW staff.
Each and every one. 20 to 23 years old. All right, 1990. We're just going to count them up. I would have been in 11th grade or 12th grade. I graduated in 91. I don't know. So just depending on the month. Sinead O'Connor, I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got. I know you're a fan of this one.
Absolutely. I believe, all of her albums, unless I'm mistaken and there are more that I don't know about. Amazing voice, just amazing. I loved that one, and I also loved, which also came out that year and is a contender, I think. Alice in Chains' Facelift came out that year, and Alice in Chains, kind of a new sound on the scene.
Sure, I mean it was a good year for music. Here's some of what came out: Bloodletting by Concrete Blonde. Listen Without Prejudice, George Michael.
Yeah.
Flood, They Might Be Giants. Now, I like the Sinead album a lot. I like Sinead. I think she was very brave and got a raw deal in a lot of ways, but it's not my number one album. Here are my top three, and really any one of them that could be number one, I'd be happy with it. Okay. Graffiti Bridge, Prince soundtrack. Oh, that movie is a fever dream. It's just like if you gave Prince all the money in the world and said make whatever movie you want. Graffiti Bridge is, I mean, yeah, it's exactly what you would think.
And they did, and he did.
Great music, though.
And that's what he
came out with. The movie makes
with.
no sense, but his soundtrack is
It's
incredible.
entertaining, I'll tell you that. That's if you ever want to sit down for a wild
we should do
ride.
A review, for sure.
Yeah.
No Fences, Garth Brooks. Great album. But my number one, probably, if I had to pick one, Fear of a Black Planet by Public Enemy. This list is surprisingly hip-hop free for being such a big decade in the 90s, or hip-hop being so big in the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Fight the Power. Oh, 1991, Nirvana, Nevermind.
Yeah.
It's hard to go against that one, really.
Well, that was the year that Metallica and Pearl Jam came out with a couple albums that were pretty good. But yeah, I kind of wrote next to this year. This year didn't really excite me as much as some other years in the 90s. Although, I mean, you can't deny Nirvana was a force to be reckoned with and everywhere. And I know you loved Nirvana. Like, that was a really big one for you.
Yeah, I mean, I still do. Back in the day, I really did. Yeah, that was a huge album. Also, what came out that year, though, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 by Guns N' Roses, Blood Sugar Sex Magic by the Chili Peppers. I don't think Guns N' Roses gets enough credit for sometimes for being the bridge between hair metal and grunge metal, or more, less glam metal, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I mean those albums were great, but I'm gonna go with Nirvana for sentimental reasons or whatever. And it was a very influential album, right?
Yeah. Was this? And I'm gonna ask, even though I know the answer. Do you think that this album maybe was the inception of your dream of long hair?
Yes.
Grungy hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so.
The 1992 Sonic Youth, Dirty. Look, I like Sonic Youth as much as the next fella, which means not a lot. No, they're fine. They're fine. Don't come at me, you Sonic Elder Statesman.
Is that what they're called, or we just made that up?
I just made that up. I mean, none of us are young now.
Well, yeah,
came
that's
out in
true. Yeah,
1990
no.
1990.
I didn't know if they had a fan name or something. I don't know.
We're the Sonic old timers.
92 was an exciting year for me. I put a couple of stars by my list because a lot of stuff came out that excited me
Yeah, who
as
you
a
got?
listener. I had The Chronic.
Yeah.
I had Alice in Chains came out with another one that year called Dirt, which
You
was
love
really
your
nice.
Alice in Chains, I know
Love
that.
Alice in Chains. REM, Automatic for the People, came out that year.
Mm-hmm.
Just pretty amazing. Nine Inch Nails, Rage Against the Machine. Those all came out that year, and I was heavily into those people too.
You know what else came out? One of your favorite albums, and one of probably the first present I ever bought you after our marriage. Little Earthquakes by Tori Amos.
Really?
You love that one, right?
Oh yeah, I sure do.
You want to tell that story?
Okay,
I was just setting myself up for a world of trouble, but here we go.
that's right. Okay, let me tell you something that happened on the very first birthday, which, by the way, it's just recently been my birthday, and
Yeah,
I had
happy birthday.
I had a lovely birthday. But this is the very first birthday that I had after we were married, which was literally a month after we got married, right? And Dan he went out and bought Tori Amos's Little Earthquakes, which
Wonderful album.
it is a wonderful album.
Silent all these years. All of it.
It is a wonderful album. But I am not a fan of Tori Amos. Dan is a fan of Tori Amos. And I let him have it. I let him have it for a whole year. I let him have it. So much so that the very next birthday, Dan spent his entire paycheck. I came home to a mound of presents. He took me to eat at what was the fanciest restaurant I've ever been in currently at that time had ever been in. And then we stopped at a carnival on the way home, and he blew the rest of his paycheck. And I forgave him.
You were sorry then because we didn't have any groceries.
I wasn't sorry. But that's my story. But yes, great album.
Well, I thought you would like it because you liked Sinead and Girl Power and all that mumbo jumbo. But yeah, I do like Tori Amos a lot. Sticking to it, I still listen to it.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, The Chronic, Little Earthquakes, Mary Chapin Carpenter, Harvest Moon, Neil Young. My number one, you mentioned it, Automatic for the People, REM.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite album by them. It's just, lots of great stuff.
Yeah. 92 was a good year for music. Ah.
I highly disagree with any album, any list that's got U2 on it. No, they're fine. Don't come at me, U2ers.
You keep saying, can we hashtag that? Hashtag don't come at me.
Oh, man, what year is this again? 1993.
This is 93.
Look, had we met yet? No. Right. I'm still a year away from meeting the love of my life, I believe.
Yeah, I think. Well, right about this time, though.
Yeah.
I feel like it was right about this time. In Utero Nirvana came out. Counting Crows. That was your jam.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember liking it as well.
Counting Crows, August and Everything After is what I picked the best album of that year. It's one of my favorite albums. I don't listen to it much anymore because it's so depressing. Every song is Depress Fest, which isn't bad. I'm not judging it. And I know we disagree a little bit on this. I think you got to be careful what you put in your mind because it can't tell the difference between fake depression or fake worry or fake whatever you're getting from your music or TV or whatever. And the real stuff, it mess up your regulatory system, man. 80, 75 to 90, that's very scientific. I think anxiety, if people live with anxiety, could be gotten rid of if they cut off the news. I mean, I don't say keep up with the topic, with the things you find important, yes. But the minutia, all that worrying, get rid of that, get rid of social media, get rid of all that depressing ass music you think is making you feel better, because it ain't. And about 80% of your anxiety and worry will vanish.
Sometimes, too, it's okay to relive those moments to kind of heal from them, too. So I'm going to respect
If that's not what most people do, though, most people, if you did that, you'd listen to it once, you'd be healed, and you'd be fine. Most people are doing that it's another way to bury and actually face your emotions. It's just one step between you and your actual emotions. Just me. Just what just my opinion. I don't know nothing. I do know that I know zilch.
Anyway, we are getting off on a whole different thing, and we are talking about 1994.
Beck, Mellow Gold. Hey, I like that Beck. What do you have for this one?
I have a bunch of things, actually. I put another couple stars by this. Cranberries. Are you kidding me? Loved Cranberries. Green Day came out with Dookie that year. Weezer and Soundgarden were a couple that I really liked that year.
Nirvana Unplugged came out. I listened to that so much. That came very close to being my number one. And if it wasn't I tried to avoid greatest hits albums and stuff like that because somebody puts their best songs on an album. Of course it might be the best album of the year. But
Right.
Jar of Flies, Alan Jackson came out with a good album. My number one, and they're going to come at me for this one. Hole, Live Through This, I think was one of the best grunge albums. I think Courtney gets a bad rap, at least for that first album. It was powerful, man. It was good.
It was powerful. I do want to say, too, because you mentioned Alan Jackson, and another genre that's woefully absent on this list seems to be country.
They don't hardly even mention
well.
it. And 90s was a good decade for country.
It was a really good decade for country. You know, a lot of great people like Alan Jackson and Garth Brooks, Lyle Lovett, and I mean, there's just
I've got a country album on here.
Vince Gill was
Vince
90s. Amy, his wife, Amy. Can I remember? her
Poehler? I mean, yeah, they got married.
name? Yeah, her.
Margaret, I got a question for you so deep, it's going to rock your mind. You won't be able to, it'd probably open your third eye.
Yeah.
When you hear this, they're going to have to choke you in the shallow water before you get too deep when you hear this question. What if God was one of us, Margaret?
I don't know.
What if he was just a slob, like one of us?
I don't know.
Just a blob on the bus. Just a fool named Gus.
Just trying to get home, you mean?
Yeah.
I just don't know. But I'm sad that they chose Joan Osborne over Alanis Morissette. What? Jagged
Again.
Little Pill came out that year. Amazing album.
Again, people back me up here. Alanis, Sinead.
There's the like and subscribe and hit the bell button.
Speaker, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was a safe bet that you would like Tori, man. And I thought it'd be a double whammy that I also did.
I'm about to get another great birthday, guys. Thanks to bringing this up again. Oh, yeah. Stop. Okay. But yeah, the 95 was actually a year that I put another couple stars by. Smashing Pumpkins were out that year. And again, Alanis Morissette, like, she burst onto the scene. Like, I really identified with Alanis.
And look, I'm not putting Joan Osborne down. I don't know. I probably never listened to this whole album, to be honest. I just know that one song mostly. So I could be totally wrong here, I will admit. But this is not an album I expected ever to see on any list as the best album of 1995. I'm going to go with Prince. The Gold Experience is probably not one that most people would put on there anyway, but he's Prince. The underrated album has Peak Control, Endorphin Machine, and Most Beautiful Girl in the World on it. Shy, which is a great acoustic little blues number. And anytime Prince put out an album, it was probably better than everybody else, to be honest. And this is a cop-out. 1996, various British artists. You know what came out? Odelay, Beck, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Murder Ballads, Busta Rhymes, The Coming, Sublime, self-titled, The Score by the Fugees. What you got? But no, they want to pick the various British artists.
Sublime was one of my number one picks, along with Rage Against the Machine's Evil Empire.
Both good, yeah. I'm going with Tidal, Fiona Apple, 1996. I think that tops a lot of lists. Maybe not that makes it number one. I'm a big fan of hers. I went back and listened to a lot of these when I was making this list. Criminal, the first single she put out, that bass line of that is so funky, it's unreal, man. And she was very young when she wrote all those songs, too. But anyway, I could think of a million ones probably better than various British artists.
And, you know, hats off to Fiona, who has continued to just get better and better as the years go by. She's amazing.
But those ones you named, those are also great. Sublime, that was a top contender for me as well.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they said various British artists, because they couldn't choose.
That could be.
Possibly.
1997 Radiohead OK Computer. Okay, I'm okay with this one. I'm not the hugest Radiohead fan, but I understand they're great. I do see, the appeal. I don't listen to them for fun on my downtime to unwind.
Don't think you would, really. I chose Erykah Badu. Baduism came out that year.
Oh,
and
that is a good one.
Super Duper Fly with our friend Missy Elliott.
I've got Super Duper Fly on my list too. It's one of my favorites. In Sync came out with something that year. Hey man, bye bye bye.
I liked NSYNC.
Yeah, I'm not down. I'm not. The Dance Fleetwood Mac, which is probably one of the albums I listened to the most that year. Again, that was a lot of their older hits, so I'm not putting that one on as my number one. That's probably what I listened to the most in 1997. Also, this one, Time Out of Mind, Bob Dylan. Love that album. Wasn't a comeback because he's Bob Dylan. You don't come back. Sometimes you just put out an album that is accessible to people, and sometimes you put out an album that sounds like you're blah, blah, blah.
Right.
This was one of the more accessible ones. People liked it. It had some really beautiful, haunting songs about getting older.
Yeah.
And now it's been 30 years, and he's even older.
Right. Now the songs are really haunting.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Thought they were haunting before. He's practically singing them from the graveyard. 1998, Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Yeah, I can see
I'm
this
okay
one.
with this one.
Yeah.
It's not my number one, and I kind of broke a rule. But what you got first? Do you have any other ones from that year you like?
System of a Down. I'm a huge System of a Down fan. That was the only other one I had. I wouldn't, I think I'm going to agree with them. I don't think System of a Down had the best album. I think Lauryn Hill did. I just happen to like them. But it was one of the good ones that I wrote down.
Lauryn Hill probably did have the best album. Also, Believe, Cher came out. Wide Open Spaces, Dixie Chicks. That's a good one.
Yeah.
My number one, VH1 Storytellers, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash. You got that for me for my birthday or something. I just loved it. Listened to it. That crap out of it. And out of all of these albums, that's one I still listen to today. Turn on some of that.
Yeah.
Good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
We're getting up there, the brooding 90s, and boy did we like to brood, man, walking around again with our hair in our faces and all that. Starting to come to an end. We're starting to see kind of a different kind of music here, I would say. 1999, Robbie Williams, The Ego Has Landed. I don't know. Who's Robbie Williams?
I have not listened to this album fully. So I really don't have an opinion on Robbie Williams' album, The Ego Has Landed, which is what Entertainment Weekly has picked. I did, however, write down two albums that I liked, one of which, like you're in sync, was Britney. Hit Me Baby One More Time came out that year. And as cringeworthy as it is like one of the best pop albums of all
catchy.
time.
Like you hear that song, it's going to be stuck in your head, yeah.
Well, not just that song, the whole album.
Yeah.
And then I put down Tom Waits.
That's my number one.
Mule Variations came out that year, and I remember we had was it his performance of that album or just his performance of a mixture of his songs?
Oh, that VHS tape?
We had that, yeah.
I recorded that on PBS, I think. Tom Waits live at Austin City Limits. You can probably find it on YouTube. Good little concert.
It is really, really good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was that album, if it was the Mule Variations. It might have been, because he might have been, kind of promoting that album.
I think this was
time.
actually a little before that.
Was it?
That was, yeah.
That's an amazing concert. I would totally recommend going to look that up. But that's the one I chose was my top for that year.
I love Tom Waits a lot. Kind of like Bob Dylan, some of his albums are a little more accessible than others. You've told me before, I listen to a wide variety of stuff, that some of the music I like is like Well Song. It's so obscure. And I give Tom Waits some of the credit for that, because he came out that one album with just it was very experimental, just a bunch of sounds as the music, like him grunting and whatever.
Hammers.
So you probably heard that one, yeah. Like, what are you listening to?
Yeah, he would just make music with whatever was laying around.
But Mule Variations is a very accessible, beautiful folk kind of album. Also, though, the one that came close, 69 Love Songs by Magnetic Fields. Few too many love songs kept that one from being number one. You got 69 songs; they're not all going to be winners. White Stripes' debut album came out that year, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. They, yeah.
All right.
Our whole family liked White Stripes. We used to put that on in the car when we were going places, and we'd all sing along.
Yeah.
That was some great music. Great music.
Do you have a best of the 90s in general? If you had to pick a best album out of all of these.
Oh,
My goodness, I don't know what I'd do.
I don't know what I'd do either. No, I couldn't do it. I could not do it in the time that we're allotted here. That is one I'd have to come back to.
I'm going to say Counting Crows, August and Everything After, just because I've loved it for so long, even though it's not on my regular rotation anymore.
Yeah. My first instinct was to say probably the White Stripes, even though it's one of the last things that we talked about. But they really did. So many people were very innovative in their albums here, and that's why they're on this list. But the White Stripes strike me because they just stripped everything out of rock and roll, and they just kind of made it new again.
Yeah.
They de-popified it and stripped everything out, and they just got a guitar and a drum, and we're like, let's...
And I'll be honest, as much as I love Jack White's guitar playing, and I think Jack White's great, but I liked him better as the White Stripes. It's just that guitar and the drums, yeah, it's just so stripped down and bluesy, and man, he'd shred.
You were right there in the garage with them
Yeah.
when they were making those albums. So yeah, that's probably the one I'd pick right now. Who
right.
knows what it's going to be tomorrow?
Come at us in the comments. It still boosts the algorithm if you want. Hashtag come at us in the comments. Let us know what you agree or disagree on. Let me know what you think about my hair. Should I put a hat back on, for God's sake? All right, let's go ahead and get out of here, Marge. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and ring that old bell to get notifications, because, again, you never know where YouTube's algorithm is going to put us.
Yeah, and come on back to see us. We'll be here.
Thank you for watching.
Bye, guys.